And the thing that I want to know is, how did you like this book? It is so bad. Hello everyone, my name is Gianni and you're watching Meep Reads. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Doldrums by Nicholas Gannon. Sorry that I don't actually have any cover. It's a bad habit that my family has and they take off the covers, which is annoying. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you do, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Archer Helmsley has never been allowed to leave his house. Why? Because his grandparents vanished and were stranded on an iceberg 2 years ago, and Archer's mother is afraid that the same will happen to Archer. One day, he finally meets his neighbor Oliver, and they start to talk about going to Antarctica to rescue his grandparents. There's also a new student at school named Adelaide, which I'll just use as croissant for since she's French, I guess. Eventually, Adelaide also gets mixed up into Oliver and Archer's plans of traveling to Antarctica. Starting right off with the first thing that I didn't like, I hated the first 2/3 of the book since it was basically just a boring introduction to all the characters. There was a little bit of maybe humor in there, which I didn't really find funny anyway. Maybe a little bit of comedic relief, something like that. But honestly, it was just really boring, and I know that Archer isn't really allowed to leave his house, but they still could have added something action, adventure-y in there, like maybe him trying to run away or something. I don't really know. Nicholas Gannon just could have made it better and made it just more interesting, I guess. Which also comes to my next point. The next thing that I didn't like was that there was hardly any adventure. And this is frustrating, again, because it's supposed to be an action-adventure book where his grandparents are trapped on this iceberg, and so why doesn't Archer get to do also action-adventure-y stuff? He does a little bit at the end. It just wasn't good enough for me, and it didn't make up for the first 2/3 of the book. Even though that I did say that I liked this ending, I think that it was way too anticlimactic. And obviously I suggest that you don't read this book, but there are still spoiler alerts here anyway. So basically, they get caught up into this museum, I think, and they release these tigers, and they actually outrun the tigers, and their teacher, I think she passes out or something. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention too much since I already hated this book. It was just, it was pretty good, but obviously they didn't get to go to Antarctica or whatever, and it was just really frustrating because that's what I read this whole 350-page book, however long it is, just to get to this point. However, I did like the potential of this story. This story had so much potential because it's so interesting that his grandparents became stuck on this iceberg or whatever. It just seems really interesting. Obviously, the book didn't live up to that expectation and it became super boring. There's also a sequel, which I'm currently reading right now, and I'm already super bored, so I think that it's just going to be a repeat. But I just really, really despise this book because it's so boring. For Story Thieves, it was kind of interesting. Same with The Giver, sort of interesting. The Hunger Games, the whole thing is action and adventure. This is practically nothing. It's basically like Quarantine, because Archer has to just be in his own house the whole time. So is this book verified, neutral, or spoiled? I think you already know what's coming, but it's obviously spoiled. I hated this book. That's why it's in this playlist of the worst books ever. You can also check that out if you want to, that playlist. But anyway, yeah, I just hated it. Again, there is a sequel, which I'm going to read. Although if it is a repeat of this book, then I'm obviously not going to review it. It was just horrible. That's really all I can say. Also, I wanted to say that actually it was my brother that recommended this book to me. And the thing that I want to know is, how did you like this book? It is so bad. It's just really frustrating because I was coming into this with high expectations, and then they were instantly shattered, which is kind of annoying. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and of course, if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and turn on the bell if you haven't already, so you're notified when my next video comes out. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time.